Every system collapse creates winners. That truth makes people uncomfortable because collapse is supposed to be tragic, equalizing, punishing. But collapse has never worked that way. When systems fail, pain spreads outward, but benefit moves inward. It concentrates. Collapse does not destroy power, it rearranges it. And the rearrangement always favors a very small group. The moment a system begins to crack, a silent divide appears, not between the rich and the poor, not between governments and citizens, but between those who still believe the system will recover and those who understand it won't. That gap determines everything. The people who benefit first are not the strongest or the richest. They are the ones who stop waiting. Waiting is deadly during collapse. Because collapse doesn't announce itself as permanent. It whispers. It offers hope. It promises correction. And people who believe those promises stay still. The beneficiaries move. They reposition before panic spreads. They don't ask if collapse is fair. They ask where leverage will shift. When systems function, value is regulated. When systems fail, value becomes negotiated. Rules soften. Prices detach. Trust evaporates. And when rules weaken, leverage becomes more important than merit. Those who control access gain power. Access to money, access to supply, access to decision makers, access to enforcement. Collapse rewards access more than productivity. That is why the biggest winners are often invisible. They don't produce more. They position better. They move closer to choke points, places where decisions bottleneck. When chaos expands, bottlenecks become priceless. The second group that benefits are those who thrive on instability itself. Stable systems reward patience. Unstable systems reward speed. When markets swing violently, when policies reverse suddenly, when rules are rewritten without warning, long-term planning collapses. But short-term positioning explodes in value. Those who can move quickly don't need certainty. They need volatility. Disorder creates gaps. Gaps create opportunity. And opportunity belongs to those who are not emotionally attached to outcomes. Collapse punishes emotional attachment. People attached to fairness hesitate. People attached to stability freeze. People attached to old rules argue. The beneficiaries act, not because they are smarter, but because they are detached. Detachment allows speed. Speed creates advantage. The third group that benefits are those nearest to enforcement. When systems collapse, laws don't disappear. They become inconsistent. Rules still exist, but enforcement becomes selective. And in selective systems, proximity matters more than obedience. People believe the law protects everyone equally. During collapse, the law protects those who can influence its application. That influence doesn't require corruption. It requires familiarity, access, understanding how exceptions are granted. In collapse, exceptions become the real system. Those who understand how to navigate them gain enormous leverage. The fourth group that benefits are those who control interpretation. Collapse creates confusion. Confusion creates demand for explanations. People desperately want to know what happened. Who caused this? Who should we trust? Whoever answers first gains authority, not because they are correct, but because uncertainty is unbearable. Narratives calm fear. Fear seeks structure. Structure creates loyalty. Those who control narratives don't need to control reality. They only need to shape perception. Once perception stabilizes, behavior follows. Behavior alignment is power. That's why collapse always produces new experts, new voices, new authorities. People don't follow them because they are proven. They follow them because the old ones failed. The fifth group that benefits are those already operating outside formal systems. When formal systems break, informal ones expand. Parallel markets, unofficial networks, alternative economies. People who already live without guarantees adapt instantly. Collapse doesn't shock them, it validates them. What was once illegal becomes tolerated. What was once fringe becomes necessary. Collapse legitimizes the margins. Those who relied entirely on structure struggle. Those who lived flexibly thrive. The final beneficiaries of early collapse are those who understand one key truth. Collapse is not the event. Transition is. Most people imagine collapse as a sudden cliff. In reality, it is a slope, a long, grinding descent punctuated by moments of panic. Those who understand this don't rush. They preserve options. They avoid emotional extremes. They wait for new rules to harden. Because the real advantages don't come during chaos. They come after normalization. And normalization always arrives. The most dangerous misunderstanding about collapse is believing the benefits appear immediately. They don't. Immediate collapse is noisy, confusing, unstable. The largest gains come later, once replacement systems solidify. That's when the biggest beneficiaries emerge. Replacement systems do not form to fix problems. They form to restore coordination. And coordination always favors those who understand human behavior. Once chaos becomes exhausting, people seek predictability. They don't care who provides it. They care that someone does. This is when new hierarchies lock in, not through force, through dependency. People adapt behavior not because they agree, but because they must function. Participation becomes survival. Resistance becomes self-harm. At this stage, beneficiaries are no longer opportunists. They are architects. They shape incentives. They define acceptable behavior. They decide who gets access and who waits. And waiting becomes the dominant condition of life. Replacement systems reward compliance, not creativity. Those who align early rise quickly. Those who resist are filtered out. This is how collapse widens inequality without appearing violent. The next major beneficiaries are those who understand fragmentation. Replacement systems divide populations, not emotionally, administratively. Different rules for different groups, different permissions, different thresholds. Fragmentation prevents unity because no one experiences the full system. Each group believes the system is almost fair, almost working, enough to tolerate. Without shared experience, resistance collapses. Division becomes structural, and structural division is permanent. Another powerful beneficiary group are those who rewrite morality. Collapse changes what is considered acceptable. What was once unthinkable becomes necessary. What was once criticized becomes praised. People begin enforcing new moral standards on each other, not because they are ordered to, because alignment feels safer than isolation. Social pressure replaces authority, and social pressure is relentless. Once morality aligns with the system no longer needs defense. It becomes the default. Defaults are invisible, and invisible systems are nearly impossible to challenge. Over time, memory fades. Those who lived before collapse age out. New generations are born into the replacement system. They don't experience control. They experience normality. They don't ask what changed. They ask why anyone would want change at all. This is the final lock-in. Exhaustion seals it. People don't want another transition, another disruption, another uncertainty. Stability, even flawed, becomes sacred. This is why replacement systems survive long enough to decay themselves. They inherit the same flaws, the same rigidity, the same concentration. Eventually, they fail the same way, quietly, internally, while pretending to function. And the cycle begins again. Collapse does not create equality. It creates sorting between those who panic and those who position, between those who wait and those who act, between those who believe narratives and those who observe incentives. Everyone is harmed by collapse, but not everyone is harmed equally. The biggest beneficiaries are not villains. They are pattern readers. They understand that systems fail in predictable ways, that fear drives behavior, that exhaustion invites control, and that power always reorganizes. It never disappears. If you want to understand collapse, stop asking who is hurt. Everyone is. Ask instead, who is calm while others panic? Who is being asked for guidance? Who is defining rules while others debate fairness? Who is shaping incentives quietly? Those are the real beneficiaries. They don't announce themselves. They don't celebrate. They just move into place. And by the time most people realize what happened, the future has already been structured, not randomly, but deliberately.